I want to ask both of you the same question. How much of a price have you had to pay for speaking your mind and being yourself? And I'll ask you this, Kiran, because in this last year, you have made some very factual observations about the state of the economy. You have described the GDP growth plummeting figures as an economic emergency in one interview. You have later spoken about tax terrorism. And then you have later said that when you make these blunt comments, you get phone calls saying, Kiran, stop saying all this. How much of a backlash have you had to face in life, not just today, for being yourself, for speaking your mind and not being part of the herd?
So I've always spoken my mind, Barkha, because right from the very beginning, I've had to stand for myself. Okay, I've been very open. I've been very, articulate about what I wanted this industry to be. I've always spoken for the biotech sector because, it is a very neglected sector even today because, it is a gestational business. It requires a lot of investment. It's very capital intensive and so on and so forth. And I know that this is someone has to stand up and fight for my sector, which I've done all these years because I know how tough it has been for me to build my own industry. So I think I've always felt that if you don't speak up, if you don't speak your mind, nobody is going to help you. And I've always benefited from constructive criticism. I'll be very honest. I always believe that if you don't like what is happening, speak up because somebody will listen and that constructive
So when you get those phone calls which say, Kiran, stop speaking so much,
they know I'm not going to stop.
Well done.
Because, I am the kind of person who's doing it for the right reasons. I'm not just talking foolishly or because I want to be dissenting on something. I actually believe that I'm speaking for something in which I have a vested interest. The economy is something I have a vested interest. I want this country to be a $5 trillion economy, and I know it can happen. So when I don't see things going in the right direction, where I see that there are, signs of the economy regressing, where I for one believe that entrepreneurship is the way to build the $5 trillion economy. I really believe we need to focus on unleashing. When you talk about animal spirits, it's that entrepreneurial energy that you have to unleash in this country. We are too over-regulated. We are overtaxed in many, many ways. So when I see things not going the right way, I will speak my mind because I hope somebody is listening.
And you're not scared.
What is there to... I'm not saying anything which is not correct or untrue. So when you're speaking the truth or when you're really concerned about something, I don't think you should feel scared.
I want to ask you one question and then I'll take the same question to Ratna. You started from scratch and today you're actually getting into a brand new business which is looking at immunocell therapy for cancer, a new treatment. And you're setting up a new company. And we've been talking about this. Is it easier? Is it really easier to start business today? Is there really an ease of doing business?
So let me be very honest, Barkha. I think it was easier for me to set up Biocon in 1978 where regulations were very... lax, and we didn't really understand what regulations were all about, at least for a new sector like biotech. Today, I really feel sorry for young startups because I just started a startup a few months ago after a very long time. And when I looked at the rules and regulations that a startup has to go through, I really feel we shouldn't have to put them through all that. I think startups have to be given a lot of freedom. I know what it's like to start up a company in Boston, and I know what it's like to set up a company in Bangalore.
So you're saying it's tougher today to set up a business than it was when you started Biocon?
Yeah, and it's easier to start up a business in Boston than Bangalore. Why should it be that way? We are the startup nation. We see ourselves as a startup capital in Bangalore. Why is it not easier to start companies? That's what I really think startups are not talking enough about it. That's the problem. And I think governments will do it. They'll fix it because they know startups are important for this economy. But someone needs to speak up. Someone needs to say, please deregulate. You're over-regulating us.
Yeah.